Tough one.
China blue.
China blue. I like it. It's rather exotic, like something out of Charlie Chan.
B-movies have always been my inspiration. What's yours? Going my way?
All you need to know about me is that I intend to save you. And all you need to do is be there. Stay with me, China blue. Trust me. I'll free you.
Who are you? You're not a reverend. Who are you?
I'm you.
Well, that wasn't you. That was Tony Perkins, as you all know, no doubt, playing a demented sort of street priest trying to convert a prostitute, played by Kathleen Turner, trying to convert her from her evil ways. It's in one of the more subdued scenes from Crimes of Passion. The bizarre movie Crimes of Passion is just one of 4 new films we'll be reviewing this week on Sneak Previews. I'm Jeffrey Lyons, and you are you, right?
Yes, and I'm Neil Gabler. And as Jeffrey just said, we're going to be reviewing Crimes of Passion, starring Kathleen Turner as a fashion designer who moonlights as a prostitute. And we'll have Firstborn with Terry Garr, which I describe as a thriller about a teenager with a humongous Oedipus complex. And we'll look at Comfort and Joy, the latest comedy from the Scottish director of Gregory's Girl and local hero, Bill Forsyth. And we'll look at No Small Affair, about another teenager, this one a nerd who falls madly in love with a rock singer. We're also going to have scenes of Jeffrey Lyons' favorite group, the Talking Heads, from their new concert movie, Stop Making Sense. Something that you've been telling me for years, right, Jeffrey?
That's right. Enough of that talking head. Well, our first movie is Firstborn. It's a sobering look at a family in crisis. Terry Garr stars as a divorced suburban mother of 2 boys. Their father lives in another city, and the boy's mother has a new lover who will soon turn the family's quiet existence into one of turmoil and conflict. And in this scene, early on in Firstborn, the new boyfriend comes down for breakfast and first meets the 2 boys.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Is it Russ?
Hi. I'm Sam.
Where's Mom?
Mom's, sleeping. Your mom's been waiting to, we wanted to... Well, this is a kick. This isn't the greatest way to meet, is it? I know one of you is Jake, right?
I'm Jake.
Hi.
I'm Ada.
He's Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Sleep okay?
It's a difficult confrontation there, handled very nicely, I thought. Soon the new boyfriend moves in, but he is short-tempered. He's full of empty dreams and wild ambitions and schemes as well. And he and the boys are not getting along. Now, in this scene at a restaurant, the tension builds between the older boy, played by Christopher Collett, and his mother's boyfriend, played by Peter Weller, as their mutual hatred begins to boil over.
Anybody got a chainsaw? It's a lot of nerve to call this toilet a restaurant, know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with mine.
Mine's good.
And look at this, babe, they're just packing them in. Yep. You know why? Because there's nothing else around, that's why. The sad thing is, people are just waiting to be turned on. I'm telling you, we should do it. We should really do it, Wendy. I mean it.
I told you I'm game if you're really serious.
What, open a restaurant?
I'm dead serious.
Well, doesn't it take a lot of money to open a restaurant?
No, not if you open up a sushi bar. All you need is some raw fish and a knife.
Let's do it. How do we do it? How do we get a loan?
It's tricky getting a loan for a restaurant, but there's other ways we can put it together. I know we can.
Like what?
Well, we could turn over some real estate. Hell, I know some property we could turn over. It's only a little house over in Bloomfield, but it's on this beautiful piece of land.
Who is this?
It just went on the market last week. It's perfect. We'd fix it up. I could do most of the work myself. I bet we could get in for $10,000 down. We'd turn it over in 5 or 6 months. We'd probably triple our money.
And that's all we have to do?
Bang! That's the down payment on the restaurant.
It sounds like we could really do it.
We could.
Well, what if you can't sell the place?
Oh, I could sell it, Jake. That's no problem.
Been trying to sell the house next door to us for over a year.
Oh, well, not that house.
That just means the market's soft, Jake, and now's the time to get in. Make sense?
What if it stays soft?
Jake, why are you so negative?
What's with you, Jake? Why is everything such a bummer with you, huh?
Well, kids are cynical today, you know. It's hip.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Oh, it's not? You tell us what's hip, Jake.
Nothing's hip.
Oh, nothing's hip? You mean nothing matters anymore?
I didn't say that.
Or what'd you say then? You mean nothingness is hip? What'd you say?
Hip isn't hip anymore.
See, there's an argument building innocently enough out of almost nothing. It was a good scene.
The whole movie works that way.
That's right. Firstborn is a compelling slice of life. It's a look at a family coming apart at its very seams. It won't knock you out of your seat, but it will impress you with its solid performances and with the head-on, honest way it depicts the issues of drug abuse, family stability, and most important, I think here, how a level-headed teenage boy grows up very quickly. Directed intelligently by Michael Apted, who made Coal Miner's Daughter, Firstborn reminded me of good television shows like Family, for instance, about ordinary people in an average family, suddenly, however, faced with challenges which will test their emotional mettle. It's an easy movie to admire and one to respect.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go quite as far as you go in talking about admiration and respect and the themes of this movie. I think it's a good, polished thriller. And most thrillers
Why a thriller?
demand... Because it's a film about a confrontation between a teenage boy and a maniac, essentially, who moves into their house because he's having a relationship with their mother and ultimately comes to terrorize the family. And the film ends with a beautiful, long sequence in which the boy and the maniac, the boyfriend, you know, have a fight.
He's not psychopathic. What I liked about this picture is...
He's close to being
okay,
psychopathic.
What I liked about this picture is the boy himself. He's a character, a real-life character. It can happen to anybody. He doesn't do zany things. He's a role model for kids. It's a movie that parents can take their older children to and say, see, he's behaving rationally. He's got a head on his shoulders. What a refreshing change.
I think that the thing that works about this movie is that when most thrillers demand that you suspend your disbelief, this film works on a level of realism and
That it
credibility, gets you to identify with the
It
boy.
sure does.
There's nothing out of the ordinary in this movie.
So we liked it, but for different
For different reasons,
Right.
yes. I think it's empty but entertaining. Well, our next movie is the latest comedy from the wonderful Scottish director Bill Forsyth. At least I think he's wonderful, who made Gregory's Girl and Local Hero. This one is called Comfort and Joy, and it's about a popular morning disc jockey in Glasgow. He's named Alan Dickie Bird. In this scene, set on Christmas Eve, Dickie's longtime live-in girlfriend casually reveals her plans for the holidays.
Maddie, what are you up to?
I'm leaving, Alan. I'm taking some things, my things, and I'm leaving. I meant to tell you ages ago, but the moment didn't arise. I have to go. I wanted to talk to you about it, but it just didn't happen.
Maddie, please. Sit down. We can talk about it now.
It's too late. George is coming over soon. He's hired a truck. I meant to tell you ages ago.
It's your sister set this up, didn't she? It's your crazy sister.
No, it's me. I'm doing it. I asked George to help me move out. That's all.
We finished quite a bit, big one. Here, Alan.
Hey.
Good evening.
Alice, if you could go through here.
Aye,
there's
sure.
a table and some chairs.
You're quite serious about this then, Maddie?
Look, I'm really sorry about this, Alan. You know, I'm just helping out. You know hard feelings, eh? I mean, it's just, you know, just women.
George, there's some more chairs in the kitchen.
Right, man.
Maddie, baby, please, talk to me. Please stay and talk to me.
Don't let's drag it out, Alan. Don't be cruel.
Nice chair.
I mean, it's a sad scene, but it's done with enormous sense of humor.
The way the movie is done.
Yes, the whole movie's like that. Well, Dickie is absolutely devastated by his girlfriend's departure, and he begins to reevaluate his whole life. And one of the things that he decides is that it's no longer good enough for him to be frivolous. Now, while pondering his newfound seriousness, he stops for an ice cream, and accidentally he gets caught in the middle of a war between two rival ice cream companies. Only Forsyth could think of something like that.
Bird! Dickie Bird's here! For God's sake, get in the car! Give us an autograph, Dickie.
I'm sorry, I don't have a pen on me, I'm sorry.
Come on to hell, let's get out of here! Give us a dedication at least, there, for my mother.
Yeah, sure.
Tomorrow morning.
Right.
Have you any man to man your Dean Mark?
Oh, bouncy. What, memories are made of this or something?
Aye, lovely.
Yes, sir. Can I help you? A refill for your 99.
Are you okay?
What? Oh, yes, everything's under control. Don't worry about a thing, sir. Was there something you wanted?
You hurt? Is that blood?
Eh? Oh, no, it's just raspberry essence, sir. Don't worry about a thing. Just some high-spirited juice, that's all. Now, if there's nothing else you want, I think we better be on our way.
And later he tries to become a peacemaker between these two rival ice cream companies. Now, I am a very big fan of Bill Forsyth, and I think he's one of the most inventive and idiosyncratic directors around. But if you haven't seen Gregory's Girl or Local Hero, and they're both available on video cassette, I might add, it's almost impossible for me to describe what his comedy is like, except maybe to say that he loves whimsy and anecdotes and eccentricity without ever being cloying or silly or predictable. His movies are practically all little touches and no plot.
Like you,
I guess,
right?
No. And I guess my only worry about Forsyth is that he wouldn't be able to sustain his whimsy from movie to movie. But in Comfort and Joy, Forsyth comes through again. And he's even added an element of wistfulness, a sadness to the whimsy this time. Comfort and Joy is like one of those rambling, shaggy dog stories. But like his other movies, it's more interested in the fleas than in the dog. And I liked it a lot.
So did I. This movie's title tells you what you're going to get when you sit down in a seat. Comfort and joy.
Exactly.
What I like most about Bill Forsyth is that he has a discernible style, like Francois Truffaut had. You can tell that it's a Bill Forsyth movie.
And nobody can imitate it.
That's
it's so unique to him.
He sets up these little situations that seem, when you explain them, ridiculous, and yet he makes something that's entertaining and also joyful and gets into the soul of people and the joy of life.
And yet, this movie, I think like all great comedies, has an undertone of seriousness to it. And I think that's right. It's about communication, it's about loneliness, so it satisfies intellectually and it satisfies as entertainment.
On every single level, it's a lovely little movie.
Little movie, yes.
Right. Well, our next movie is called No Small Affair, about a teenage boy at an important time in his life. John Cryer plays a slightly nerdy high schooler, a lot like Neil Gabler, whose passion up to now has been photography.
You're getting testy in your old age.
And one afternoon, he accidentally photographs an attractive young woman, and soon his fancy turns from light meters to love. But in this scene at the breakfast table, the boy first must put up with some advice about life from his mother's oddball boyfriend.
May I be excused?
When you clean your plate.
I gotta say something. Charles, I know you look at me and you think I'm some square dude, right?
I don't think...
Now let me finish. I'm a 60s person, okay? I smoke pot, I had long hair, wore granny shades, a whole bit, man. So I don't want to bore you with the details, but I do want you to know where I'm coming from.
I think I know.
Being weird and different is not where it's at. It takes energy, Chuck. Energy that you could put into being normal. If you really work at it, you have a real shot at being a very successful, normal person. Okay. Specifics. You like to take the snaps, huh? So you get yourself on the school paper. You see? You cover the sports beat. And you get yourself some zippy clothes. Who knows? You could end up with a cheerleader.
That's the way you think of me, right? Kind of a 60s kind of guy, right? But I have hair.
50s kind of guy, actually.
Well, I have hair, though. The infatuated boy, meanwhile, learns that the woman he's photographed is a struggling rock singer at a local nightclub, and he wants to photograph her and to promote her career. But she tells him to aim his camera somewhere else. Then, back at school, his classmates tease him until the singer pulls up in a fancy sports car.
Coming!
Excuse me.
Hi, how you doing?
Great, now.
I just wanted to thank you for the other night.
That was nothing.
Well, it really meant a lot to me, and I just you want me to know I appreciate it.
How's it been going since then?
Well, I decided to take you up on your proposition. So when do you want to do it?
This is private, so, would you mind, going off and playing with each other, toss the ball around?
Sorry if I interrupted something with your friends.
No, not my friends, exactly.
So when do you want to snap me?
Anytime it's convenient for you. I mean, you don't have to do this, you know. It's not like you owe me or anything.
But this afternoon.
Today? Well, yeah, we could do it today.
Here's my phone number. And my address. Tickle? Hold on. Just in case something comes up.
Oh, nothing will come up. I just, have to go home and get my equipment. So, I'm coming to your place?
If that's okay.
Neil Gabler's first date in high school.
Well, I
right?
like to say the
Recreated.
women were always giving me their phone
Right.
numbers.
Well,
and
No
addresses.
Small Affair isn't the most thrilling, or I grant you, even the most interesting movie around. And even though young Cryer simply looks like a clone or an understudy of Matthew Broderick, the kid from War Games, I somehow like the nice, unassuming mood in this little story about first love and how the movie meets its modest goals, I'll say that, of merely showing how an average boy learns about life. The emotions are simple, the story predictable, and sometime soon I'll no doubt, I admit, forget all about the movie No Small Affair. But for now, at least, it's passable and often cute. Right, Neil?
This is your birthday this week, and I think you're being extremely charitable here with this film.
Wow.
I would call it cutesy rather than cute.
Okay.
And I think this kid, John Cryer, I don't really want to attack him, but he is the most incompetent young actor I have seen in years. He's supposed to be appealing, you're supposed to identify with him, but he has so little technique, he is really obnoxious. I didn't identify with him at all.
I think you hated this movie. I think if you
You're
went
right.
to see,
No, you're right.
If you went to see this movie a day later, I don't think you'd hate it. I think it was the mood you were in.
No, I would have hated it
unassuming,
no matter when I
unpretentious
saw
little
it.
picture.
The story itself is idiotic. I mean,
It's
why
silly.
did this kid suddenly fall in love with this girl? What happens? You say it
pretty.
happens soon.
She's
It happens
cute.
overnight. It happens not only overnight, it happens in 2 seconds. And she's been fired from a club where she works. Can't she get a job at another club?
That's how
Is there only
teenage love
one
is.
club
Oh, yes.
in this entire city? The story is absolutely
You were in a bad
illogical.
mood that day, Neil.
I was not in a bad mood. You're in a charitable mood this week. Well, now we're going to move on to a movie called Crimes of Passion.
Must we?
Yes, we must, unfortunately. It actually generated some controversy because it was originally rated X by the rating board. And the director, Ken Russell, had to keep whittling away at the sex to get an R for repulsive, I guess. It's too bad because if he'd kept on whittling, maybe he would have gotten rid of the entire movie. Anyway, Crimes of Passion stars Kathleen Turner from Romancing the Stone as a sexually repressed fashion designer who puts on a blonde wig every night and moonlights as a prostitute. But her boss suspects that she's been selling patterns to a competitor, so he hires a young snoop to follow her. Now, the spy naturally finds out about her extracurricular activities, and in this scene, he decides he wants to sample the goods himself.
Oh, sorry. I'm not too good at this. It's my first time.
Oh? You that desperate or that horny?
I'm married.
Oh, that desperate and that horny.
Go slow. Just Boy Scout.
Well, baby, you are about to become an explorer. Oh, hot body. Are you an athlete, huh?
Yeah. Played varsity football. High school. Quarterback.
Well, quarterback, you can have the ride of your life if you trust me at the wheel.
Well, later, he decides to actually leave his wife and teach Turner what real love is. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's a loony, self-styled religious evangelist who says he wants to save Turner's soul. And he is played by everyone's favorite movie psychotic, Anthony Perkins. Perkins keeps pestering Turner to repent, and after discovering her real identity, he's followed her to the fashion house where she works.
Hello, Joanna.
What are you doing here? You have no right to be here.
I had to. For both of us.
Get away from me. I don't even want to know you.
No more deceptions, Joanna. I know who you are. We're the same, don't you see?
The same rage, the same fear. We hurt the same. We escape the same. But we don't have to anymore. We have a chance. Both of us. Together. No more disguises.
I don't need you.
I'm crying out to you for sake. Is everything a negotiation here, too?
Stop it! Just shut up!
Listen to me. Help me. I'm tired of standing on street corners. I want to love and care and need, just like you do. We can help each other. We don't have to grow old.
A musical, right, Neil?
Yes. Isn't it refreshing to see Anthony Perkins in a totally different kind of role from anything he's been? Can't say that he's been typecast.
Nice music.
Well, I wouldn't say that director Ken Russell ever made really good movies, but there was a time when he at least had a certain boldness and audacity, if we remember Women in Love or Tommy or Altered States. No more. In Crimes of Passion, he has made one of the most stupid and tawdry movies of the year. It's like watching the movie version of Dr. Ruth Westheimer's radio show. All it is are characters trotting out their sexual hang-ups with the cheapest psychology imaginable, and none of these people is remotely interesting because none is anything but a walking sex hang-up. I suppose Crimes of Passion thinks it's very avant-garde and daring, but it really looks like a bad avant-garde filmmaker's idea of softcore porn.
I'll tell you, I do admire Women in Love. I think it's a great film. But even in a bad film by Ken Russell, like Tommy or The Boyfriend, you can see a stunning visual style. The Music Lovers comes to mind.
You have to grant him that.
You don't even get that here. You get vulgarity. You get sleaziness. You get something that is almost asexual because everything's been cut out.
That's
you
right.
just get nothing. You get Tony Perkins doing the same role again. I love Kathleen Turner. I think she's misused here. You get nothing. You get kicked in the face by this
now,
movie.
of course, maybe if you were in a different mood and saw it on a different day, Jeffrey, you'd like this movie.
No, okay. Don't make fun of my earlier comments. This film, you had that up your sleeve.
Yes, I had that
this
up my sleeve,
film
yes.
is vicious and annoying, and it proves absolutely nothing except you really get taken by it.
The first half is totally incomprehensible. The second half is so literal, it's ridiculous.
Like your reviews. Well, summarizing our opinions on the major movies we've reviewed this week, both Neil and I liked Firstborn. That's a sobering story of a teenager's struggle with his mother's dislikable new boyfriend. It's compellingly acted and honestly depicted. So too, yes votes. And we both like Comfort and Joy, director Bill Forsyth's movie about a lovesick disc jockey caught in the middle of a war between ice cream manufacturers. Forsyth's got a lovely, charming eye for life's little eccentricities. I thought No Small Affair about a teenage boy in love with a rock singer was unassuming and sometimes cute. But Neil found the star, John Cryer, totally amateurish and thinks the movie isn't cute, it's unpleasantly cutesy. But neither Neil nor I could stomach one frame of Crimes of Passion, the silly, pretentious, sleazy movie about a woman who lives a double life as a prostitute. It's unpleasant, vulgar, and just plain junk. We never know when she sleeps, right?
That's true. Well, as all you rock and roll fans know, Jeffrey and I aren't the only talking heads around. There's the group Talking Heads, which has been on the cutting edge of popular music for years. Well, now, director Jonathan Demme, who made Melvin and Howard, has made a concert film of the Talking Heads. It's called Stop Making Sense. Now, I'm not sure that this movie will convert non-fans into fans, but it's a well-made, well-recorded document of one of the most unusual and creative forces in popular music, the lead singer and composer David Byrne. So here, for your listening pleasure, as they used to say, are the Talking Heads with Burning Down the House.
Burning down the house. My house. Side of the ordinary. That's right. Don't want to hurt nobody. Something's sugar. Sweep me off my feet. Burning down the house. You may ask yourself.
Here's my own favorite, Once in a Lifetime.
You may ask yourself, am I right? Am I wrong? You may say to yourself, my God, what have I done? Letting the days go by, there's no water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground. Into the blue again, after the money's gone. Once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Into the blue again, into the silent water. Under the rocks and stone, there is water underground. Letting the days go by, into the silent water. Once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Same as it ever was. Same as it...
I know, Jeffrey, you are waiting for a Lawrence Welk's concert
Neil,
movie, right?
I know you think that my musical tastes run to Mantovani and Lawrence Welk, and I know I think you take notes during American Bandstand and Soul Train, but somewhere in the middle lies the truth. I haven't seen this film yet. Will I, who have slightly more adult taste in music, like it?
I think it's a very well-made film, and I think it captures perfectly David Byrne's whole personality. He's a very inventive, a very creative, popular musician.
I know what you can say, and you can dance to it, right?
Yes.
Well, next
I give
time,
it a 70.
Next time we'll review George Burns' newest movie, Oh God, You Devil, in which, for a change, George Burns plays both roles. And The Killing Field, a devastating movie about the fall of Cambodia, a sure Oscar nominee. And Bizet's Carmen, the latest movie version of the classic opera starring Plácido Domingo. So join us for those reviews and more. And until then, save us the aisle seat.